Records. Breaking records. What does that do? What does it mean? You know? What does that mean to you? Because to me it means that I'm not being like society. I'm not setting the bar so low that when it falls it doesn't make a sound. That's what we do nowadays. That's why when you compliment people nowadays, they shut it down. Because they don't want to try to deal with a higher bar. They'd rather sit low and drive slow. Because they don't believe in themselves. They don't think they can do it. But something in the corner of their mind sparks sometimes. Something in your mind will tell you, hey, what if this is possible? What if I can make my way into the Guinness Book of World Records? And hell, that's motivation enough for me.
You can't come up here. I'm in the middle of a shoot. Tegan was always out to beat a record. It didn't matter what record it was that he wanted to beat. If you gave him a record, that was it. He was ready to beat it. I remember he used to take some of my vinyl records and hit them with a hammer because that was his very first introduction to beating records. At any time he could, that was his goal. Probably one of the most amazing stories about the record was we got into the marshmallow toss contest. It was really, people would come from thousands of miles. People flew in from New York, Bermuda, all over, from Hawaii. Tegan was too short to get in, too light, too white, but they let him in under the wire, and when they did, you could feel him. He was like a racehorse, nervous in the stable, walking around, eating. He was literally eating hay. And I remember at the time thinking, okay, calm down. You don't have to take this that seriously. But no, he wanted to win. That was really his ambition in life. So we started out with, there was probably 100 other contestants standing face to face where one person would throw a marshmallow, the other would be forced to catch it in their mouth and then take 2 steps back, and that person would throw it back. Now, the good news for Tegan is that his mouth was so much bigger than his brain at the time, there was almost nowhere else for the marshmallow to fall. Yet, if you were to back up 30 or 40 feet, it didn't matter if your mouth was as big as a bass fish from the stream or a small child. At that distance, it didn't matter. You had a marshmallow like that and a mouth like this, or like Tegan, and there was nowhere else for the marshmallow to fall. However, the competition, the intensity, the Olympic potential was still there. It was down to me, Tegan, and one other couple, and they were big time. I think they were from Germany. The kid's mouth was this big and the father's was even bigger. Now, the German couple went first, threw the long marshmallow to the father. He dropped it off his chin, which really no one was expecting. They were the favorites outright. But what happens? Tegan steps back, 25, maybe 30 feet, throws the marshmallow, and while it's in midair, everything just went to like classic 70s movies. Slow motion, big swell of the violins. I jumped up like a dolphin with tap shoes, took it right out of the air, and we won. But the winning wasn't the part. Tegan literally ran toward me after the gun had gone off saying you won, jumped spread eagle, wrapped his arms around me like some sort of a squid, and held on to me for dear life, knowing this was only the first of the records that he would set from that day forward. It's one of the proudest moments I've ever had. And that's all I can say about that.
The drop? Oh, where do I start? I was nervous. You know, I had a lot on my mind that day. It had just rained the night before. And if you know anything about Palisadian storms, is that when it rains in the Palisades, the next day, it's windy as all hell. I mean, the trees are just shaking side to side, and for me trying to launch a grape from the top of a cliff and drop it to where I'm at, that was going to be a lot of wind to consider. And depending on the gusts you get, which on the day of the drop were probably 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts, there was almost no way of keeping that grape steady. But we still went after it. We still made it happen. I originally wanted to drop the grape off the side of a building, and I thought being in an alleyway would be a great idea because he didn't, you know, whoever was going to drop it for me, in this case was my buddy Luke, they wouldn't need to throw it. They would just need to drop it, and aerodynamics would be a lot more intact. You'd have a lot less spin on the grape, and that would cause it to drop in a bit of a more straight fashion. But I guess that didn't happen. We had the cliff because of coronavirus, because of not being able to go into the city and be around people. We had to do it off a secluded area like the edge of this cliff, and it was tough. And the most important, I think the most difficult part about it was the climb. Gotta find a way down the side of the cliff here. As you can see, it's totally broken, decrepit, dilapidated, but we'll just hope the side of the mountain doesn't cave in and kill me on the way down. When I got there, I hadn't scoped out the climb yet. This was actually my first time seeing the ledge. Half the wall of the mountain is dirt and half the wall is rock. So there was some mighty fine stepping I had to do to not fall to my death. There's a small cave here. I think I'm gonna chimney climb it. And there's not much room, but I think I can make it. I came to this wall where it was about 17 to 18 feet straight down. Chimney climb. It was literally climbing through a pipe of rock and dirt. And I just had to lower myself through that and hope that I didn't fall or that the mountain didn't give out from underneath me. Okay. This feels like a free solo. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is probably not the smartest route to have taken. If somebody finds this footage and I'm long gone, I want you all to know I really wanted to set this record. I thought I could do it. I'm pretty good at catching things in my mouth. Once I got out, there was only 2 platforms below me about 6 or 7 feet, and I had to jump to both of those platforms. Okay. But eventually I got to my spot, and I called for Luke.
He is alive all the way.
But standing at that spot, it was super sloped. I mean, I was literally standing on an angle the whole time. The angle wasn't even rock, the angle was dirt. So I was standing on the dirt and slipping down constantly, and I was thinking to myself, how am I gonna catch these grapes? I'm not gonna be able to catch them standing where I am with the balance that I have. This is gonna take a lot of skill. But we started to get to work, and I started to set up my cameras, and I knew that this was the moment. This is what I had been training for. This is what I had been waiting for. I just knew that this was what I was meant to do. This is the record I was meant to set. And that's what kicked in the moment he threw that first grape.
All right, so shot number 1. This is gonna be interesting.
Alrighty, let's do this.
There's Tegan, there's the grape.
You know, the first thing you'll learn about me, if you know me, is that I'm a competitor before anything else. I love competition. I love winning. And I hate losing. I worked my ass off to set this record. I put so much love and so much effort into all of it. I train and I sacrifice. So that one day I can make my family proud. So that I can go out there and say that I did something amazing. I did something the world's never seen before. I put the bar up really high and I reached it. You know? And today, I failed. It's over. Good job, Luke. Love you, buddy. I missed them all.
Sad. He had one hit his chin.
Today was supposed to be a good day. You know. 174 attempts. 174 grapes. Wasted. Gone. There's nothing I can do about it. This is about me. This is about who I am as a person. This is what I do. I go out and I do things the world has never seen before. This is what I was born to do. And so I don't know, it breaks my heart when I can't do it. And I know I can't succeed every time. I know that failure is a part of life, but I'm done failing, man. You know? It's not gonna be today. And it's not gonna be tomorrow. It's not gonna be the next day. It might not be for a really long time, but I'm gonna get over this. I'm gonna look this in the eye one day. I'm gonna remember this day. And this day is gonna keep me going forward. Because I guess, yeah, it is all about failure. That's the thing that keeps you going, right? When you can't do it, or when your record's been broken, or you've been beaten and down and broken on the side of a mountain and left in your own dust with prickers still sticking in your socks, that's when you say, hey, I'm not done. I'm not out. I'm just down right now. Just a little down. And that's what I feel. But one day, and one day soon, I'm gonna go back to that cliff. Or to a building or something over 101 feet. I don't care if it's a hot air balloon, I'll freaking do it. And one day soon, I'm gonna attempt to set this record again. And one day soon, you're gonna see me in the Guinness Book of World Records.